Do you know about the Northrup murder? Because it's one of the great mysteries that trickles around in my head quite often. Outside the towns of Almira and Hartline is the Northrup Canyon. Absolutely beautiful place. But in the 1800s, it was homesteaded by Reverend and Catherine Northrup. Eventually, as they got on in their years, they began leasing it out, and an Israel Sanford took up that lease. But then in July of 1903, tragedy struck when Catherine Northrup was shot through the head by Israel Sanford. And the details don't match up at all. Some things we can confirm absolutely. We know that Catherine was shot in the back of the head and then died on the front porch of the old Northrup estate where Israel had been leasing the property. We also know for sure that after the murder, he went out to Coulee City and surrendered himself to the sheriff. But there are a lot of sensationalized accounts about the actual murder that don't match up with one another. One is that Israel's daughter rode out to save Catherine's brother, that she knew her dad was on a murderous rampage and decided to go save additional people that he said he was on the way to murder. So she runs out, saves a bunch of lives. But in other published accounts from the time, Catherine's brother was already inside the house trying to evict Israel. They said that he hadn't been paying his rent and that they decided to remove him from the property, and both Catherine and her brother Len had gone to the property to ask him to leave. And when he tried to shoot Len, Catherine jumped in front of the bullet, getting killed herself. But nobody knows for sure, because it was just Catherine and Israel out there. They found her body, and he confessed to the sheriff that he had murdered her, but had very few details about the event that he was willing to share. He ends up going on trial for this event and is acquitted on grounds of insanity, saying that his time during the Civil War brought him to a level of violence that when he was angry, he couldn't be trusted. We also know that before the murder took place, Israel had gone to see his lawyer in Almira, consulted him about what to do, and then disregarded the advice, went to a local hardware store where he bought the Colt revolver, and then went out, eventually committing the murder. Today, if you go to Northrup Canyon, you can see the old Northrup homestead out there where everything took place. After being successfully acquitted, Israel wandered around for some time before eventually dying not too long after in Ording, where he's buried today. For true crime enthusiasts and paranormal investigators, Northrup Canyon remains a very active spot with intense interest. To this day, we still don't know what exactly happened out there.